Welcome. This is the Financial Apostle. Today I'm going to be talking about why SMEs fail. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow us. I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons why SMEs fail. Research has shown that 95% of startup or SMEs, they fail within the first 5 years. Within the first 5 years, they close shop. And then the remaining 5% also they close shop within the next 5 years, which means after 10 years, it was discovered that companies that started, they were no longer in business. So, want to look at some of the reasons why these SMEs ended up closing shop within 5 years and then within 10 years. Number one is legal and regulatory issues. You find that most SMEs yes, they are good at registering their companies, getting their names registered, getting a certificate of incorporation, or the company registration documents. They're able to start trading. But generally, most don't actually go further to get the required licenses or permits that are required for them to continue to trade. For example, you might be in a business with a health service provider, whether they are into pharmaceutical, whether they are into a food outlet. These you further need to get in some health certificates, some regulatory authority license, drug licenses, you see. And also local authorities, they require every company to get a trading license from their offices. So most of SMEs, they don't get these in place before they start operating. They are surprised to see when their health inspectors visit their shops to check, do you have a license for this, do you have a license for that, and they are found not to be having any of those. So what these authorities simply do, they ask you to close and go and get your papers ready, and before you can resume operations. So you see, these some of these SMEs, they fail to meet all the requirements needed for them to get the licenses for their particular chosen field of trade. As a result, they end up closing. There's also requirement of registering with the tax authorities so that every business has to pay tax. They start to operate without registering for tax purposes. If you are going to be employing an employees, you should register within 30 days of you employing these your employees, so that you are able to withhold pay as you earn and remit it to your tax authority. You might also need to register for value-added tax, so that you are able to charge value-added tax on your goods and services you collect, and then you remit the tax at the appropriate time. So failure to do this, again, you find that once the tax authorities come to visit your premise, your business, they find that you have not registered, and they want to check when you started trading, and they will demand you to pay the taxes that are due from the time you started trading. And depending at what point they would have come to you, this could be a lot of money, might have been 3 years, 4 years, or a year in business. But when they demand this money, you see that you might not be having the money that they require at that time. And you might end up closing shop because of failing to just register on time. There are also intellectual property rights. People infringe on some people's trademarks, some people's taglines. Imagine you've done your branding, you've done your packaging, only to find that somebody saying you are using my brand, you are infringing on my property rights, intellectual property rights, and then you are forced to stop using those packaging because you have not done your homework to say that I need to check whether this name or this trademark, is it registered by anywhere or is there anyone using it? So again, these things, they force you to close operations because you can't, you will not be able to continue trading using somebody's name. There's issue also of contracts. With contract, they come with issue of liabilities whereby most SMEs fail to honor their contractual obligations. As a result, they are faced with legal liabilities where they need to pay the contractors because they have failed to meet their side of the contractual obligations. So these legal and regulatory issues are a serious matter that needs to be taken seriously if you need to see your business surviving more than 5 years, 10 years, or going into the future. You need to make sure that these legal issues are correct. We move on to the second reason why SMEs fail. Insufficient capital. I've seen that most SMEs they have this thinking that okay, more money will come in soon after we start trading. As a result, they start their business with insufficient capital. They will not be having enough money to meet even initial setup costs because they will fail to pay rent for the next few months because they will not be having any capital remaining. They fail even to pay salaries. They fail even to meet day-to-day running expenses because of what? Of insufficient capital. Because initially, when you start your business, you don't have clients that you can say these clients, they are definitely going to come every day or every month to buy. So you cannot expect to have to be operating in a profitable position within the first few months. So you have to rely on your what? On your capital to be able to fund all the expenses, running expenses, until your business starts to move in a what? In a positive cash flow. So one of these reasons why as well under this insufficient capital, we see that most SMEs, they don't have a budget. They don't take time to budget. Come up with a budget to say that I'm going to this business. What are the costs that I'm going to face? What are the running expenses that I need on a daily basis? If by having a budget, you are able to actually forecast that I might be having to pay for my electricity at a particular time. I need fuel. I need to pay for some marketing or advertising expenses at some particular time. But by just going into a business without any budget, you will not. It's highly unlikely that you think of those expenses. But then when you'll be surprised to say, "Oh, I need to advertise." Seems I think if I advertise, I might be able to get to increase my sales. But if you don't have a budget for that, you just take money that you have and go and pay for an advert. But you see that after maybe a month or so, that advert seems to have done nothing to improve your sales. And then you start wondering why. Because you've not planned for it. It's just something that came and then said, oh, let me just rush and do an ad and pay an advertising agent to do my advert. You see, SMEs, they think that they hope to get additional funding during the course of their business. But most of the times, this additional funding does not come because of no track record. The banks are not able to advance the working capital because you don't have any track record. Maybe you don't have a security to secure the fund, or you are a high risk client, so they will not risk their money to somebody who they don't yet trust. So this failure to get sufficient capital results in most SMEs closing shop. Move on to the third reason why SMEs fail. It's poor management. This is both financial management and general management. I've noticed that most people, they go into business coming from different professions. Somebody might be coming from production, maybe an engineer, production manager, a salesperson, or maybe general in the general department where they're in the shop floor or in the production line. They don't have these requisite skills, financial management skills, general management skills. As a result, they are not able to lead their teams well. They are not able to direct them in the right paths. As a result, they make poor decisions in terms of resource allocation because they have not had this experience of leading, of managing, but they are starting to manage in this enterprise that they've registered. They might be having the vision, but this vision will lack direction because of no leadership. They don't know how to structure it. They don't know how to set goals, targets, something that needs to be done in a strategic planning setup. But they don't embark on those things because they don't know about them. They don't think they are necessary. So what is important here is you should invest in attending workshops and trainings whereby you get equipped in financial management skills, general management skills, HR, how to handle your HR issues. You should put time and resources in being trained in these areas. You avoid your running into challenges of failing to make proper decisions. Somebody who is looked at as a poor manager, as a poor leader, a bad leader, you see. So it's also important that financial management skills will help you to understand financial statements. Because most SMEs, they don't produce monthly management accounts, even quarterly financial statements. They don't do that because they see those as unnecessary. But these are important tools that will help you to see where your business is going and to avoid falling into these pitfalls of having made poor resource allocation, poor financial management, because there will be indicators to show you that in this quarter, these are the financial mistakes that you made. In this quarter, you did these poor decisions that resulted in this particular result. So it's important that in order to avoid making poor decisions, invest in attending workshops and trainings. That way you'll be equipped with these skills that are important for you to be able to run your business until it gets into a large corporation. Number 4 reason why SMEs fail is that ineffective marketing and sales. A simple definition of marketing is that marketing informs and attracts leads and prospects to your company, its products and services. So marketing informs your target clients or customers that you have this particular product, you have this particular service. And then sales, what does sales do? Sales is about closing deals and generating what? And generating revenue. Sales is about, it's not about convincing somebody to buy, but sales is about persuading them to buy your product or services. So most SMEs fail to market their products or services. You see, they think they are doing marketing, but the marketing that they will be doing will not be reaching to the target customers. So you will see the results that this marketing that was done, it was not effective because no customer came. You never attracted any new customer. You were still struggling with the same old clientele, or your customer base is not growing, or sales are not growing. You will see that almost SMEs struggle to reach their target audience. Why? Because you fail to reach your target audience because you might be using the wrong channel to reach them. For example, you might want to get into to a particular, say you want to go into a mountain. Obviously, you can't climb the mountain using a bicycle. You have to go by foot. You are navigating your way up the mountain. You have to be having the right shoes, the right equipment to reach your client that you say might be in the mountains. So know where your target is and use the right medium. For example, Lamborghini does not advertise their cars in the televisions because they know that their target customers, they don't watch television. So they know where to get their customers. More probably their customers they will find them in golf courses where they will be playing golf. So how do they get there? They might organize to sponsor a golf tournament. By organizing a golf tournament, they know that they'll be able to bring in potential customers who will buy their Lamborghini. Or they might talk to somebody who already owns the Lamborghini, and then they ask them to invite their friends to a particular event that they are hosting. And then they talk about the Lamborghini that they are introducing or that they are selling. Again, you see that under ineffective marketing and sales, most SMEs, they have inadequate sales strategies and poor branding. I've noted that most SMEs, they just hire anyone and then said, okay, you are going to sales, you're going to marketing. But they never invest in getting those people trained in how to sell. Introductory course on selling, how do you sell our products? But they expect them to just what? They just do a pep talk and then release them into the market. Say, go and sell, go and market our product. But at the end of the day, you see that it's a waste of money because those people who don't know where to go, they just think just shooting their arrows aimlessly, hoping to hit a target. But the end result is that you fail to reach your target customer, and this will show in what? In poor revenues. There's also an issue of ineffective advertising. It can hinder revenue growth because there are some products where you need that you don't need to advertise once a day. If you're using a radio, a television, maybe you need to be doing that running that advert every hour or every 30 minutes, so that it gets into the mind, or into your target customer. You should know that our target customers, they probably listen the radio between prime time, or do they listen off peak? You should know what times your target audience is likely to would be listening to your radio, or they are watching a particular TV program, and then you place in your ad there. But if you have an ineffective advertising campaign, it will be a waste of money, and that will result in what? You closing shop because no returns will be coming, revenue declining, and also your cash flows will be moving into the red bit by bit. The last one, lack of market demand. SMEs have faced the inability to generate sufficient demand for their product and services. This could be because of one, poor market research. I don't know how many of you did some thorough market research before they embarked on what? On registering that business, starting that business, or you just use the guesswork. Say, I think people, because they like this, or because you like a particular thing, then you think that maybe 1,000 or 10,000 more people will like what you like. But business is not about guessing. You must do a proper research. Do a thorough market research to determine whether there's a demand for your product that you intend to put into the market. But most of the times that due to poor market research, most SMEs, they close, like I say, most of them, 95% of them, within the first 5 years of their opening shop, they close shop because there will not be any demand for their products. You might be getting into a market getting into a product which is facing a reducing market demand. For example, Nokia are the pioneers of cell phones, but because they never thought that there would be advances in technology, smartphones were going to come in. They never invested in that particular area of the market whereby they move into the smartphone. I wonder how they were seeing their numbers, the demand of their type of phone going down, and then they thought maybe it was just a seasonal cycle. Demand will peak because people, they still saw that as there were still so many people that were not having phones at that particular time, mobile phones at that particular time. But the demand for their products, the ordinary phones, was declining. As a result, they went out of business. They were overtaken by companies that invested in bringing new smartphones. Another reason under lack of market demand is what? Misreading customer needs. Like the example of what? Of Nokia. They misread customer needs. They didn't foresee people wanting to watch a movie on their mobile device. They didn't foresee a need where people would want to listen to music from their phone, from their smartphone. They thought that people just need to call each other. Once they talk to their loved one, then that will be the end of the story. But they never saw a demand whereby people want to listen to good music, want to watch a movie, want to send each other's videos over the mobile devices. As a result, because of this misreading customer needs, they went out of business. Same with some SMEs. You might think people might want a particular product, but customer needs change. It's like selling a good winter jacket, but it's failing to get market because it's an old-fashioned type of jacket. Because once people need to be warm, but they also look at the fashion side. Yes, I want to be warm, but I have to be wearing something that is in line with the fashion of the day or of the time. It's not just a matter of that getting winter jackets or winter shoes, but are those winter jackets or winter shoes in line with the market trends or the needs of your customers, of your target customers? Again, under lack of market demand, you might be entering a saturated market where the market is already saturated. There's no room for what? For attracting a new supplier. Years ago, there's a time when a mobile service provider wanted to apply for a license in a particular country. Actually, it was Zimbabwe. Then they failed to get a license because the regulatory authority said already there were 3 mobile service providers. So it said the Zimbabwean market then could not absorb a 4th mobile service provider. But this company that wanted to offer these mobile services, it had invested in equipment, all the things, but they failed to get a license. Why? They never saw that the market that they were trying to get in was already saturated. There were enough suppliers already. So the market could not what? Absorb another service provider. So it's important that you do your thorough research. You see where the trends are going. You must take your time. It's not a rash decision that because you had people talking about a particular thing, then they say that it's moving, it's moving. Yes, I did this, it's moving. But yet once you hear that hint or that that something is moving, before you put your resources and money into it, make sure that you do your research, do hypothesis, do some testings to see that are people happy with this product before you embark on a full-scale production of the product. You'll be surprised that once you've done a full-scale production, people will reject your product, and then as a result, you will lose out and close shop. So these are the 5 reasons that cause SMEs to close shop or to fail. We would like to hear what you say. Share this video with others, and we'll see you in our next video.